Qué Golazo, YouTube family and friends, hit like and subscribe and leave us a comment as I pick resident transfer guru Fabrizio Romano's brains about the latest transfer news coming right up. Welcome everybody to Qué Golazo. Jonathan Johnson here, and I'm taking the reins while LME is away. And today I'm with the one and only Fabrizio Romano to talk through Manchester City's hopes of landing Erling Haaland, Erik Ten Hag's Red Devil rescue mission, Arsenal's striker search, and much, much more. Qué Golazo begins right now. Well, Fabrizio, great to be back with you. How are you doing, my friend?
Hello, my friend. All good, all good. Thank you as always. And really happy to discuss transfers as we are entering into the season. So many things are happening.
Yeah, I mean, we know that transfer windows are always a busy time for you, but let's be honest, there's never a quiet period for you, really. There's always something going on. So let's start with sort of, the big topic that's on everybody's lips at this moment in time. That's Erling Haaland. So is Manchester City a done deal at this point?
No, it's not a done deal from what I'm told. Of course, Manchester City are working on it, are in the process to sign Erling Haaland. So they are working directly with his family, directly with his agent, Mino Raiola. There is a conversation on every single detail of the deal. It means to trigger the clause is not going to be a problem for Manchester City. But there are like salary, commission, project, many points to clarify. So Manchester City are in direct conversation with Haaland family. But at the moment, still nothing completed. I say completed because Manchester City are the front runners. Manchester City are leading the race. Manchester City are pushing since last week with big effort to sign Erling Haaland because they consider him the priority. Pep Guardiola considers him the perfect striker for him. So this is why they are going for Erling Haaland as priority. But it's not completed yet. It will take some days to understand if everything will be signed and completed and agreed on every single detail. But Man City are on it, and we can say that they are front runners now.
So what exactly is the hold up, or when can we expect there to be some news on this?
My expectation is by the end of this month, April, we will understand definitely what will be the next club for Erling Haaland, which one. Of course, Manchester City are front runners, but we know that Real Madrid have always been in the race and interested in Erling Haaland, and same happened with Bayern and Barcelona. Not as front runners, but they've always been interested and speaking directly with Mino Raiola and with Haaland team for many and many months. So we keep it open at the moment, but with Manchester City getting closer. And so my expectation is this month, April, we will have the final answer and the situation clear for Erling Haaland.
So if City come out on top of Real Madrid, why do you think, or based on the information that you have, would Haaland choose City over Real?
It's not about money, and this is something I always say because this boy always showed in the past that he's not deciding by money or this kind of things. He had the chance to go to Juventus and he said no. He had the chance to go to Manchester United and he said no because he was always picking the right project. And I feel that in this case would be the same. Manchester City, they need a number 9. Need maybe is not the right word because they're doing fantastic, even not with a proper number 9. But we know how they are looking for a number 9 since a long time. They don't have a center striker. While Real Madrid, for example, they have Karim Benzema, who is doing incredible this season. We know that they are in the process to sign Kylian Mbappe since a long time. Let's see what happens with PSG. But they don't need a number 9 in this moment. So we know how important it would be for Erling Haaland to have this possibility to be the number 9 and the player needed by the club. And this is why Manchester City project, even with Pep Guardiola, with his style, with something important is also about the board. They feel that Manchester City, with their Catalan board, Chiki Begiristain, Ferran Soriano, they have a project for the future, and Erling Haaland will be part of this project for the future. So it's about the project. This is the priority of the player, and this is why Manchester City now feel they are leading the race for him.
On the topic of Mbappe and Haaland, you mentioned how Haaland is looking for a project that's going to be built around him, which is essentially the same thing that Kylian Mbappe is looking for. Is that also a reason why we shouldn't expect Real Madrid to be able to sign both? Is basically one or the other?
Yes, in my opinion, has always been complicated to think for Real Madrid to sign both Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland in the same summer. It's always been something difficult. But at the same point, they tried because they had negotiations and they had conversations for both of them. Now, of course, if Erling Haaland will be Manchester City player in the coming weeks, and we will see how it will end up, For Real Madrid, the priority has always been and will be again Kylian Mbappe, to sign the contract of Kylian Mbappe, because they have everything ready. But we know that Paris Saint-Germain are still fighting to change his mind with an incredible proposal, with a short-term contract. So they are prepared to give Kylian Mbappe whatever he wants to stay at the club. And you know better than me how is the feeling in Paris Saint-Germain. But at the same point, Real Madrid still feel confident on Mbappe. So I'm sure that if Haaland will be Manchester City player, it will be an opportunity for Real Madrid to try to complete this Kylian Mbappe deal as soon as possible.
And I guess as well, part of this potential move by Haaland to Manchester City or Real Madrid or wherever he ultimately ends up, we kind of forget that there's going to be a big hole for Borussia Dortmund to fill as well. We've heard names like Karim Adeyemi, Nico Schlotterbeck mentioned as potential replacements for him. How will Dortmund go about trying to replace the Norwegian?
Yes, Karim Adeyemi is the priority, and my feeling is at the end they will complete this negotiation. They have an agreement with the player since a long time, since December, but it's not completed yet with Red Bull Salzburg. So they're still negotiating between clubs, but the expectation around Adeyemi is that at the end it will be completed with Borussia Dortmund. So work in progress for Adeyemi, and he's a huge talent. This season in Champions League, he was very good too. So I think that with Malen and with Adeyemi, their expectation is to replace Erling Haaland in the best way. Then Schlotterbeck is expected to become new Borussia Dortmund player. They already signed Niklas Süle, who is a really huge signing from Bayern on a free. So I think they're already planning for the future. They're doing something really smart, as always, at Borussia Dortmund. We saw what they did with Jadon Sancho. So they always plan for the future in a very interesting and smart way. And so I'm sure that they will have a nice summer, even if Erling Haaland will leave the club.
Well, moving from Manchester City to Manchester United now, and it's been a topic we've been speaking about for weeks and months, and that's the future manager of Manchester United. We have Erik Ten Hag now, who's emerged as the next man to take on the Old Trafford hot seat. What are the details of the deal that will take the Dutchman to Manchester?
Yes, it's almost done between Erik Ten Hag and Manchester United now, after new conversations during last weekend. And then on Monday, they completed the agreement on verbal basis on every single point between Erik Ten Hag and Manchester United for a 4-year deal. Let's see if it will be till June 2025 with an option for further season, or directly till 2026. But it's not going to change the future. It's a 4-year deal for Ten Hag. Everything has been agreed on the power he will have on the transfer market, on the coaching staff with Van der Haag, who is working with him at Ajax, that is expected to join Manchester United too. So they're building around Erik Ten Hag, and they're preparing everything, contracts included, to have the announcement as soon as possible, respecting Ajax, of course, because they're still fighting for the Eredivisie. So this is why it's a matter of respect too, to see when it will be announced, maybe this week, maybe next week. But everything is done between Erik Ten Hag and Manchester United. The only point is the terms of payment for the release clause, included in the contract with Ajax. There is a release clause for 2 million euros for Erik Ten Hag. And so now Ajax and Man United are discussing about the terms of payment, but it's just a matter of final details, and then Erik Ten Hag will become new Manchester United manager. And the expectation is to see a new era, is to see a rebuilding at Manchester United, and it's really needed, I think.
I saw you tweeting earlier today about Manchester United's chief scout leaving the club. What more can you tell us about that?
Yes, this is not directly linked to Erik Ten Hag, but it's a message from Man United that they want to change in all single areas of the club. So it means new manager, it means a new head of scouting, it means on players. Ralf Rangnick in his interview with Sky Sports was very clear, and I think the expectation is going to be big, because he said we don't need to sign only 3 or 4 players. It's not enough. We need more than this, maybe 6, 7 or 10 players. It means that will be a super busy summer for Manchester United. That many players will leave on a free, because Juan Mata will leave on a free, Jesse Lingard will leave on a free, Edinson Cavani will leave on a free, Grant will leave on a free, Nemanja Matic will leave on a free. So many players will leave Man United in the summer. Let's see what happens with Paul Pogba, with Paris Saint-Germain, who are really interested in Pogba, but he has chances to leave on a free too. So this is why for Man United will be a revolution, and it means new manager, new head of scouting, and many new players.
Yeah, on that Ranić quote, he was saying there'll be a rebuild here, 6, 7, maybe 10 new players will come. But with so much of that, what actually is Ten Hag's first order of business going to be?
New striker. The priority will be to sign a new striker, because no matter what happens with Cristiano Ronaldo, but they need a new striker. They need a young striker who could be the face of the new Manchester United project. So this will be one of the priorities. Then new defensive midfielder. Man United wanted to sign a new defensive midfielder last summer. They were discussing for Camavinga, for Ruben Neves. They were discussing for many players, and then they decided to spend money on Cristiano Ronaldo. And so the strategy changed because of that opportunity. But this summer they will go for a defensive midfielder. Center back. I see Man United going for a center back too. So this will be the three priorities for Manchester United on the market. Then Ten Hag will need to make a decision on players coming back from loan deals. Donny van de Beek, he knows him very well. So my feeling is he will have some chances to stay at Man United. Anthony Martial coming back from Sevilla. So there are many players to make a decision on. Same with Paul Pogba. But at the same point, the priority will be new striker, new defensive midfielder, and new centre-back.
What makes you so confident that Ten Hag will succeed where other managers have failed?
I'm not confident, to be honest, because it's never easy to work at Man United. You know very well that it's never easy. So I can be confident on the manager because Erik Ten Hag is a fantastic manager. I'm sure it's a perfect choice for Man United because of his ideas, because it's something completely different from the past. He's a manager with fresh ideas, with modern ideas, with very clear methods. And even the process they had to appoint him was very interesting because it was taking some time to have a conversation, to decide together on transfers, on many points. So now he will have enough power to show his qualities at Man United. But at the same point, it's never easy because in the Premier League, with Chelsea, with Man City, of course, with Liverpool, they have a strategy that's simply perfect. Look at what Liverpool are doing. They only signed 2 players in the last 2 transfer windows, Luis Diaz and Konate. Perfect signings. Manchester City, we know how strong they are. Chelsea will have a new ownership, and so they will continue the project. Arsenal are doing pretty good with Tottenham, with Antonio Conte. So it's never easy in Premier League to succeed. But I'm sure that with a long-term project and 4-year deal for Erik Ten Hag, he will have the chance to show his skills as a manager and to sign new players because Man United need players, not just the manager. It's about the players. So this is why I think this summer will be really important to say, okay, maybe 6, 10 players, but what will be the qualities of these players? What kind of players will join Man United? This is the real question, in my opinion.
Well, sticking with the Premier League and going to another club who look like they're going to have a few players moving on as well this summer, Arsenal. Alexandre Lacazette, who wants European football, has come out recently and said that he never cut ties with Lyon since he left. You know, is this a reunion that you think could happen this summer?
It's a possibility. Lyon are thinking of Alexandre Lacazette since a long time, so they're waiting for him to have a final conversation with Arsenal at the end of the season. There was a meeting in November when Lacazette, his agent, and Arsenal decided together to discuss at the end of the season about his future. So at the moment, nothing is still decided between Arsenal and Lacazette. But at the end of the season, we will have a final answer. The expectation is for him to leave on a free, but let's see in the coming weeks what will be the final answer in this meeting. And then Lyon are waiting. So I think there are chances, but still nothing has been decided. Lacazette is now focused on this crazy Champions League race in the Premier League, and then we will have a final answer in the coming weeks.
Which number 9s are on Arsenal's radar as potential replacements?
There are many names. For example, in January, they were thinking of Darwin Núñez, but now it will be complicated. He has a new agent really close to Jorge Mendes and many clubs in the race to sign him, so it's not going to be easy. Another player they are following since a long time is Jonathan David, who is always doing very good with Lille. Not the easiest season, but he's always performing at good level. So I'm sure that he's a player that will be attracting a lot of interest from top clubs, and Arsenal are following him since a long time. But at the moment, the answer is coming from Arsenal is we are only focused on this season, end of the season, because if we play Champions League football or not, it makes the difference. Even to negotiate with some players, with some top players in attacking positions. For example, we always had rumors around Lautaro Martinez, but Lautaro Martinez is a player who wants to play Champions League football. So this kind of names, Darwin Núñez and even Jonathan David, is important to understand Champions League football or not for Arsenal. So this is why at the moment they're still waiting, exploring the market, but then in May we'll have final answers.
And somebody else who could be joining Lacazette in leaving the club this summer is Eddie Nketiah. Anything to add on his situation?
Yes, I think he has good chances to leave Arsenal on a free. They are offering him a new deal since a long time, but he wants to play. He wants to play, and he knows that in the summer Arsenal will sign a new striker, and so he doesn't want to be always the backup option for Mikel Arteta. And so this is why expecting him to go in the summer, let's say to some Premier League club or Bundesliga club, because he's been approached by many clubs, and so the decision will be in the coming months. Also, Lucas Torreira is doing very good with Fiorentina, and they expect Fiorentina to pay 15 million euros for Torreira, and so he will leave Arsenal on a permanent deal. El Neni will not extend his contract and will leave the club in the summer, so Arsenal will sign a new midfielder 100% in the summer. Let's see what happens with other players, but at the moment the situation is very clear. They want to sign 2, 3, 4 important players, but it depends on Champions League football, of course.
Another Premier League club who potentially have a bit of a summer headache developing are Brentford, with Christian Eriksen. Fantastic to see him back in action on the pitch and doing so well upon his return to the Premier League. The latest is that he is to meet Brentford at the end of the season. What can you add on his situation at this moment in time, and that of the club, of course?
Yes, first of all, I agree with you that it's fantastic to see Christian Eriksen back and at top level, because he's playing really at top level. So we're really happy, and he's really respectful with Brentford. There is no clause to extend his contract for one more season. We had some report at the end of the January transfer window saying that there was a clause included into his contract, but it's not true. So Christian Eriksen has only few weeks of contract with Brentford, and then his decision to be respectful with Brentford, who trusted him in a difficult moment of his life, of his career, is to wait to speak with other clubs, to have conversations with other clubs, and to meet face by face with Brentford at the end of the season. So this is what will happen. His agent Martin Schulz will meet with Brentford at the end of the season, and they will decide on the future. Tottenham, a lot of rumors, and it could be a possibility, a really interesting possibility, because with Antonio Conte, the relationship at the end of the last season was very good with Inter. Was not easy at the beginning of the season, but then everything changed in January, since January, and so they restarted everything, and Inter won the league, also thanks to Christian Eriksen performances. So this is why it could be a possibility. But Christian Eriksen doesn't want to negotiate now. It's a matter of respect with Brentford. He wants to meet with Brentford at the end of the season, and so let's see what happens. But the best news is to see Christian back on the pitch, and I'm sure that will be a nice summer for him on the market, because he's showing that he's still one of the best midfielders around.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brentford as well did so well to, identify him as a player that they could gamble on, and that gamble has paid off massively for them. Just quickly, I actually forgot to mention it on Tuesday's podcast. The congratulations to Christian Streich with Freiburg, getting them to the DFB Pokal final. Fantastic achievement for a club that's run so well. Brentford are in that kind of bracket, along with the likes of Atalanta, Burnley. There's a number of clubs across Europe that seem to do such impressive business despite limited resources. And I was wondering, for you as somebody who's a transfer expert, a guru, who are the club that perhaps most impress you season after season, with their ability to maybe spot, reasonably priced talent, not pay over the odds, but still, achieve some very impressive things?
Yes, you mentioned Brentford and then doing an incredible job, as many other clubs so around Europe. But I want to stay in Italy, and I want to mention one club in Italy that is doing something special, in my opinion, and this Sassuolo, because we don't have a lot of stories about Sassuolo. But if you look at Italian national team, not the best moment, of course, but all the best talents we have in Italy are coming from Sassuolo. Gianluca Scamacca is a striker that will leave Sassuolo in the summer, with many top clubs following him. Domenico Berardi is an important player, European champions with Italy, and he's playing for Sassuolo. Giacomo Raspadori, another striker that is in Juventus list for the summer, and he's playing for Sassuolo. They're playing many talents. They have no fears to trust talents, even if they are super young. They are 20, 21. They are always playing at Sassuolo. They are the new Atalanta, we say here in Italy, because, of course, Atalanta did something fantastic for many years, but now is not the best moment for them, was not the best season. They did a pretty good job in the Europa League, but in the Serie A, this season is not the best one. But Sassuolo are doing really something interesting. There is a player who is Junior Traoré, who is doing incredible. He scored like 8 goals in the whole season, but he's doing really good, and Napoli are following him. But they have really many players. Frattesi, the midfielder, Inter want him for the summer. So all the Italian top clubs are following Sassuolo players and signing Sassuolo players, and they are always performing in top clubs. Manuel Locatelli, we saw what happens with Juventus. So they are the new Atalanta, and I feel that it's never easy to do this kind of results when your budget is limited. And so congrats to Sassuolo, but as you mentioned, around Europe we have many stories in Bundesliga and Premier League, in Ligue 1. We know what Lille did with Luis Campos for many years was impressive, but this time I want to mention an Italian club with Sassuolo.
Absolutely, and very deserved praise there. So finally, on to the last topic, and we'll talk about Bayern Munich. There's, speculation over Serge Gnabry's future and his contract demands. Obviously, Lewandowski, what his future holds. We've heard Noussair Mazraoui's name mentioned as well. Even Christopher Nkunku sort of thrown in the mix there. What are you hearing regarding Bayern Munich since that Champions League exit to Villarreal?
Yes, Nkunku is not going to be easy because Leipzig want important money for him, but I'm sure that it will be a name on the list of many top clubs in the summer. And as I always say, it's going to be a crazy summer. So let's keep an eye on his name and on Lewandowski, of course. At the moment, the situation is still the same. Lewandowski wants a new deal, or he will be prepared to leave Bayern in the summer. So let's see what Bayern will decide in the meeting with his agent, Pini Zahavi. But Barcelona are there. Barcelona are waiting for Bayern to make a decision because they are already speaking with the player, but not yet with Bayern. So this is why it's going to take long. It's not going to be decided in a few days or in a few weeks, but Lewandowski will be always named to monitor in the coming weeks. And for Bayern now, it's time for contracts. So Serge Gnabry negotiations are ongoing. At the moment, it's still not agreed. I'm told that there is a problem on the add-ons structure in the salary for a Gnabry contract with Bayern Munich, but they are discussing. Soon, it will be announced that Thomas Müller and Manuel Neuer will sign a new deal with Bayern, so they will stay as legends of the club. And then let's see what's next. But I'm sure that they want a new right back, and Mazraoui is getting closer. They have a verbal agreement with his agent, Mino Raiola. Still some final detail to be completed in the coming days, but Mazraoui is getting closer to join Bayern.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your time, Fabrizio. Any final thoughts? I mean, I feel like I always come away from these podcasts, feeling like I've had my knowledge enriched.
No, thank you, first of all. And maybe it's going to be important to see what happens with Tony Rudiger, I think, in the coming weeks, because Tony Rudiger wants to wait for Chelsea new owners to understand what will be the plan, what will be the project for the future. So he wants to wait for Chelsea. But at the same point, many clubs are still speaking with his agents. Real Madrid, same for Juventus, same for Paris Saint-Germain. So it's still an open situation for Tony Rudiger, but he's been really respectful with Chelsea. He wants to wait for Chelsea. And so I'm sure that in maybe 2-3 weeks, we will understand what will be the future of Tony Rudiger. And let me say, in my opinion, is one of the biggest opportunities on the market, because this kind of centre-back, this kind of player, and this kind of leader on the market on a free is something huge. So let's see what's next for Rudiger.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot for your time, Fab. And that was me, Jonathan Johnson, with Fabrizio Romano for Qué Golazo. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.